Welcome to the first episode of the Vandalia Cinema Project, hosted by my cousin and good friend Bobby, and co-hosted by me, Trenton. Today we are going to go over my favorite movie, Back to the Future. So,
That's the
hi
beauty of
Bobby. Spoiler-free review. What do you think?
I think Back to the Future is a sick movie, man. It is. I think I would just describe it as a blast. It's just so much fun to watch. I've only seen it 2-3 times maybe, and it gets more fun every single time I watch it.
First time you saw it was with me, right? Whenever they did the flashback cinema.
Yeah, correct.
So,
I actually saw it in movie theaters, which was cool.
Yeah.
So, yep.
That was, I think that was the first for me, is to see it in the movie theater. I'd probably watched it 1,000 times beforehand, but it was different getting to watch it as intended. I mean, I don't know if there is such thing as a perfect movie. I don't know what that means per se. I understand why at one point it was considered to be the perfect script of a movie because of just how seamless it is in like the way it functions as a story. But if a movie is supposed to be entertaining, then it is a perfect movie. I think so.
I think I probably agree with you. Now, I have a little bit of a technical question. I don't know. So, I know it's directed by Spielberg. Does that mean it's written by Spielberg?
It's not directed by Spielberg. It's produced by Spielberg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Okay.
Robert Zemeckis went on to direct Forrest Gump and a few other movies that we'll fact check here in a second. And it was written by Robert Zemeckis and a fellow named Bob Gale. So, both of them share your namesake.
It is an extremely well written movie. Like, it sticks out all throughout. There's so many different little like subplots of it.
There is a rumor, I don't know how confirmed this is, that it went through 44. The script was rejected 44 times before it was greenlit, and there was a lot of changes. Obviously, just how movies are. The initial concept of the movie was, I think, one of the fellas, either Bob Gale or Zemeckis, they were looking at a yearbook, and they were looking at their parents' yearbook, and one of their dads was like class president or something like that, captain of the football team, I can't remember. And they were just like, wow, what if, like, imagine what it'd be like to be friends with my dad, like, in high school, you know? And that's what sparked the idea of traveling back in time. I have here the official plot summary of the movie. So, a young man, Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, is accidentally sent 30 years into the past in a time-traveling DeLorean invented by his friend, Dr. Emmett Brown, Christopher Lloyd, played by Christopher Lloyd, and must make sure his high school-age parents unite in order to save his own existence. I feel like that's a pretty good summary.
I think so too.
Doesn't give away too much.
I will say, having not ever watched Back to the Future up until, I don't know, a few years ago now, it was not like I expected it to be, and I didn't know anything about it. I think even based off of the description, though, I think the description is accurate, but it just goes to show how great the movie is, because it's even better than the description. Even you reading it there and me just having watched it, I don't really care that much in a way. Like, it doesn't draw me in the way that the story does as soon as the movie comes on.
Yeah, I agree. The plot definitely hooks you.
Yes.
In almost immediately.
Yes.
I think the plot's good. I think the character, I think if somebody tried to act this way in a movie today, they would get shot on set. Like, you're just not allowed to act this way in a movie. There's like actual characters in the weirdest sense of the word. There's like almost not a normal person in this movie.
No.
And it all, but it's not. Nothing's outlandish. Like everything's very believable.
Right.
Even though this is like 1955 high school, this is almost one of the most accurate depictions of high school people without even trying to be. Like because like I bet you probably spend 5 minutes inside of a high school, if that, and then maybe 5 to 10 minutes in a high school dance situation.
Right.
But I feel like they really, like, less was more. Like
they really do nail it there.
They look like they're in high school. Yeah. They're acting like they're in high school. Yeah, I think
this is a little bit off of the path of conversation here, but do you think this movie holds up the best out of any like older movie? Can you think of another movie that came out in the 80s that like holds up this well? Speaking of that.
Oh yeah, I definitely could.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do think it holds up extremely well.
It does.
It's very timeless.
It really
feeling.
does.
Like it could have came out in 2010.
Well,
and you'd be like, oh, that's actually sick.
I actually wrote this down. That it is evergreen. Like I don't know anything about the 80s. I don't really know anything about the 50s.
Right.
This movie portrays it perfectly, I feel like. Like I believe it. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think it's a good glimpse into both time periods.
Yeah, and I think I heard this in like another review as I was researching something. They continue to say 1985. Okay?
Right.
Which was the year the movie came out, right?
Yep.
And this is smart because they could have said, I got to get back to my time. I got to get back to the present. I got to get back to now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would have like almost like a novel. It would have made sense at the time.
Yeah, right.
But then if you watched it now 30 years, like 40 years, this is the 40-year anniversary.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, well, this is obviously dated. But now it's like a period piece for two time periods.
Yeah, I never really considered that, but that is cool. Like if you made a movie today about time travel and you said, I got to get back to 2025, I don't think I would have that foresight into doing it that way. But man, thank God, because it worked out awesome.
Yeah. Maybe this is the best movie from the 80s. I don't know. I'm looking through a list right now, and this might be the best movie from the 80s.
I mean, it's one of the best movies ever. So it has to be. Like, hang on. How did you get to the list that you're on? I would just like to look at something.
I just Googled movies that came out in like.
Okay.
Oh, I meant I messed up.
Movies
I
from
put in 1980 specifically. The 1980s.
Okay. So I'm looking here. Here's top 80s picks. I'm seeing.
Okay, we got already tons of good movies. Okay,
there are a lot of good movies here.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Stand by Me, Scarface, The Outsiders, Airplane. All of these hold up. Naked Gun, Karate Kid, Predator. Yeah, okay. I thought so.
Yeah. Man,
The Shining. Wow.
Some of those are a little bit different, yes. But and I get it's hard to compare. Like Back to the Future. I see E.T. is here, and it came out in 82. E.T. feels dated, brother. It feels, and I don't think that I don't think Full Metal Jacket does, but a little bit. I mean, it's a true period piece on Vietnam. So
true.
It's kind of hard to compare to that. A Christmas Story came out in 83. It's interesting.
Wow. One thing that really goes in the favor of Back to the Future is that the practical effects and the CGI or special effects, I doubt it was CGI, they really didn't overstep their bounds, and they still look good.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful movie.
Yeah,
Even
like
today.
the lightning looks good.
Hmm.
So let me check my list here, see if there's anything else
I think we should do a trailer
before.
watch.
Yes, before we get out of the spoiler-free review, oh, I want to talk to a really good runtime for a fun movie, an hour and like 55 minutes.
Oh yeah.
The, good, great
Almost
runtime.
yeah, almost like the ideal movie runtime.
Almost not enough. Like it could be. They could have put more into it. I think.
Right.
I think the vibes, the 1980 vibes, the 1955 vibes, the just overall vibes, really good.
Yeah.
Great set pieces and set
Phenomenal.
places, towns in different years, all that. Really good. Simple. Nothing. There's not a crazy location in this movie, but the
No.
fact that you see places twice, it's very interesting.
Yes.
It's evergreen. The soundtrack, bet, like, um, the theme song of this movie was written for this movie, right? The Power
Did
of
not
Love.
know that.
Yes.
Interesting.
And somebody was like, write a song about this movie. It's about time travel, and he
Uh-huh.
came up with like the song. That's the power of love, right? Has nothing to do with time travel.
Right.
Fits the theme of the movie
Fits
perfectly.
the theme
Fits the
perfectly.
vibe. Yeah, it hits it great. The band at the end plays it like plays like a non-lyrical version of it.
Hmm.
Great soundtrack. Audio in this movie is just really good. I really like the theme. Like whenever the time machine comes around, there's like a weird jingle that plays every once in a while, like a real
Yeah.
whimsical sci-fi sound.
Yeah.
Like whenever like an idea comes to fruition or something.
I had the
Um,
same exact things written down. Like very, this movie is kind of a little bit whimsical at times. Very artistic, very
it's
beautiful.
very whimsical.
Yes,
It borderlines cringe, and it like hits the like
it's right
super
there on that perfect line
magical,
almost.
yes, like the
Yes,
magical line of like, is it cringe? No, but it's like it could have been,
right.
and it like literally balanced it. Um, Crispin Glover, who plays George,
Uh huh.
he about steals the show, I think, in my
Yes,
opinion.
I agree.
I think Leah Thompson, his mother,
Hmm.
also very good, and Biff, very good. I think his name's Tom Wilson. These are all they were all relatively very new actors, and they went crazy mode.
That's crazy to think about.
Marty McFly, Michael J. Fox, he was like already kind of famous at this point,
Mm.
so it's actually really interesting to see like how much these side characters shined,
Yeah.
and I mean they came up with a lot of their like the way they act, some of their lines. It was improv. It was on the spot.
Hmm.
Crispin Glover's like a method actor, so he like really did some weird stuff, and they just I thought they really killed it.
I'm just looking here. Not a ton of like, not a huge cast in this movie either, which is awesome. I like when a
Yeah,
movie
no,
kind of has that. Like there's a few central characters and it all just revolves around them.
yeah, that's a which we'll get into the
Hmm.
complaints or the common critiques. Let's do the trailer watch.
Okay, we can do that.
That's about everything. If I truly had to give this movie a rating, I would honestly give it a 9 out of 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. I would watch this movie anytime I'd see it on. If I had a Blu-ray of this movie, I'd watch it all the time. If I was on a desert island, I would take this movie. That's probably how I'd classify a 10 out of 10 movie. Is I would want to keep watching it over and over again.
I have a lot of fun with it, and I like it more every time I watch it. But I am gonna go. I think you enjoy this movie more than I do. I think that you
I
regard it a
have the
little bit higher.
nostalgia.
Yes.
Yeah, I have the
I
like I've seen this movie since I was a kid.
I
So
think it's like a shockingly phenomenal movie. I really do. But there is that part of me that like I talk about. For whatever reason, maybe it's just I'm not that like into the time travel idea and everything, but I am like hesitant. Like if this was on TV and it came on for whatever reason, I probably wouldn't be inclined to watch it. And it's interesting because I watched it by myself, and even Isabel, whenever I mentioned it to her, was like, I don't want to watch Back to the Future. And that's kind of how I feel about it sometimes. But then again, there's the side of it where I don't ever regret any time I've watched it. Every time I've watched it, I've had a blast. So I think maybe part of it is just personal bias. And that's why I'll probably give it like an 8.5 to a 9. I really do think
That's
so.
fair. Yeah, that's completely fair.
Theatrical trailer, here we go.
There we go. Coming to you from Rotten Tomatoes Classic Trailers. This is more like it.
This is it.
Yep.
I don't know if I've seen an 80s trailer. I probably have.
This is actually a phenomenal trailer. I can tell it is very 80s, but it is majority Act 1 scenes.
Yep.
And no context. There was not almost a single spoiler. And yeah, that was a really, really good trailer, actually, even though it definitely dated to 1985.
I was about to say, yes. I think it was a good
Kathleen
trailer.
Kennedy? I didn't realize Kathleen Kennedy's been a part of Hollywood this long. Wow. Crazy. Wow.
I don't know anything about Kathleen Kennedy, I fear.
She's in charge of Star Wars.
Ah. Okay, interesting.
The new Star Wars, yeah.
Ah, okay, yep, I've seen her before. Interesting. Okay. That's what I was going to say, is I think it is a pretty good trailer, especially for the time period. I think overall, I mean, like, it didn't give me any spoilers. It didn't tell me anything about the movie. Like you said, a lot of the scenes were like Act 1 scenes.
Yeah.
There's anything beyond that is completely out of context and is not like even remotely really valuable to the story. Like I think how it talks about Doc Brown, and he had like the I did it scene, and it's in there, and it just like it almost fools you because it's just so out of place, and that's awesome for a trailer. That's so cool. I
like that they called him Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
Just never referred like that ever, you know?
When did movie trailers stop this awful format? Because they was doing it in '85, and they did it up until like 10 years ago, didn't they? Like the whole in a world.
I don't know if that was probably the 2000s if I had to guess. I'd like to know. I bet there's just been bad movie trailers since there's been movies. Almost. Probably. Like we was watching that one about Enemy Mine, and they show spoilers from the third act. Yeah. I'm like, the most egregious one to me, even though I wasn't around, but just in hindsight looking back, is the trailer for Star Wars: A Phantom Menace. It shows Darth Maul with the double-bladed lightsaber. Like,
that's so funny. There's no reason you should show me that.
No reason to put that in the trailer.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it really is. I guess you could fast forward and say the same thing about Kylo Ren's lightsaber in the trailer for Episode 7. You know? Yep. But let's get into the spoiler review. We're just going to talk about the movie now and not really care about hiding anything.
Man. I have some stuff written down. I have so I don't know how we can kind of go back and forth in our notes. I don't have my chapters divided into like Act 1, 2, and 3. I did look up Act 1, 2, and 3 to kind of get like a solid, like actually where it's supposed to be at in the movie. The opening. First scene with the clocks. I loved that scene. That was what I wrote down. It's whimsical. Yeah. I like that scene so much. And it really...
Did you notice that there's a Charlie Chaplin picture of him hanging off of a clock, and it foreshadows the end of the movie?
I did remember seeing that actually, but I completely forgot about that too. That's awesome. it is just a super cool scene. Builds suspense. Doesn't tell you anything really.
We have a similar notes.
I got a similar list here.
We do.
My second bullet point immediately after is 80s ladies are so fire.
It cracked me up. I went through. This just goes into like how tight of a script this movie is. So there's like a newspaper on the wall, and it says Brown Mansion destroyed. Okay. And in the movie, it is just known that Doc Brown's big mansion burned down, and then they show you that in the newspaper first, and then I think they talk about it at some point. But then, when they're working on the time machine model, a fire gets started, and they put it out together, right?
Yep. I saw that. Yes.
History gets changed. That's in the first opening scene. Also in the opening scene is the radio plays an ad for Toyotas. The Toyota 4x4 trucks, what Marty McFly wants. This one's a little bit more obvious. There's a TV news report that talks about the missing plutonium, all within the open scene, and then you get introduced to Marty, right?
Yeah.
But things that just go full circle is immediately you see like the re-elect Goldie Wilson signs and him running for mayor. That comes into play. Even before they mention it, Save the Clock Tower is repeated over and over again. And it's just so brilliant that fast forward to whenever Doc Brown is telling him about how much power he needs. And he's like, it's like we would need a bolt of lightning, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost hilarious because like this is almost before this was a cliche, in 1985, and Doc Brown's like, the only problem is you never know when or where they're going to strike. And Marty McFly goes, wait, say that again,
Right.
And Doc Brown does it immediately, but it's like this is before shit got overused, right? But it's
still,
not like Marty. It's not like Marty remembered that lightning struck the clock tower. It's not something he would know. Just even though it is a part of his town's history, but that day somebody gave him the flyer and he has it in his pocket, and it has traveled back in time with him. Like it is just such a good plot point that like you just don't see stuff like that in movies anymore. Well,
I was going to say I thought specifically with the lightning and the clock tower and everything. This movie did such a good job at throwing something in your face entirely for a whole scene and you not realizing that you need it until later. And it's specifically whenever him and Jennifer, Marty and Jennifer, I believe her name's Jennifer, is sitting on the bench and that lady comes up and is like, save the clock tower, and talks for 30 seconds about the clock tower. And you're like, man, this lady should get out of here. And then the clock tower is the whole point of the movie later. But it does it's so obvious. And if you where I hadn't watched it before.
I was just gonna say he doesn't keep it because he gives a fuck about the clock tower.
Right.
He keeps it because Jennifer wrote her number on it.
Yep.
It has just it's just smart.
This movie's it's just smart. Well built. Everything is intentional and purposeful, and there's so much in there that I didn't realize this time, and I have it down here a little bit later, and this might even be silly of me, but his mom mentioned very early in the movie that her and her dad didn't met because he got hit by her dad's car.
Yeah.
And then it's Marty that got hit by the car. That never even registered to me that's why that they met and everything else. Yeah. There's there's so much that's intentional and really well thought out in this movie.
In the business, they would say there's not a wasted line of dialogue, and there's really not. There's nothing. nothing that gets said that doesn't really get brought up later. Even like Uncle Jailbird Joey, you know,
Yes.
just just a split second, almost like a gag,
Yep.
and then he goes back in time. He gets to meet his uncle for the first time ever, and
Yep.
he's a little baby that likes being in the crib. It's almost funny. It's
Mm-hmm.
funny.
The more you pay
This is
attention to the movie, the more it rewards you for it as well.
right. Yeah, almost like if it was like a smart movie. You know,
Yes.
you know what I
Yep.
mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like The Prestige or something. But it's you don't have to.
Right.
But like anytime you watch it, there's just little fun Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
That here's another thing that you I don't know if you realized, but I didn't know until I started watching the movie in HD because I grew up watching it on like CRTVs and stuff.
Right.
So obviously his parents and Biff are young actors that they age up, right?
Right.
And then one of the jokes is like Doc Brown, is he just like 80-year-old perpetually, you know, like is he like 80 years old in the 80s and also in the 40s?
Right.
But he actually you can notice it more in the high def versions, but he looks really old in 1980, right?
Yeah. I did notice a
They
difference.
they age him up, they make his hair look different. And then in the 50s, he's more close to like his actual real life age, which is like 46 or whatever, I think.
Right.
And this is just a bit of funny fact, even though we're not going to talk about the second movie. In the second movie, it starts off with him in the old man makeup, and then it's a gag. He pulls his face off like a mask, and he tells Marty, "Yeah, I just did that so you wouldn't freak out. But I went to a rejuvenation like chamber in the future, you know. So now I'm
Uh-huh.
young, right?
Right.
So, and that's just a smart way to get away with him not wearing makeup anymore, you know.
Yep.
But it's just really cool that I almost feel like a modern movie would try to cast parents as old people and as young people. There would be two separate actors and actresses. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
I think they would for sure try that
And I think
because
that it was done well. I noticed towards the end too, like his mom. I noticed that more, especially the aged characters towards the end of the movie, after he'd spent all the time with his parents whenever they were teenagers, and it was really well done. It really was, with it not being completely. That's something that's easy to mess up and kind of takes you out of movies sometimes. I feel like when ages are bad.
oh yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah, you see that all the time in modern movies where, luckily there's a great pool of actors now seemingly that do kind of look alike with people that are older. But I do appreciate that they use the same set of actors in this movie.
Well, I think it translated so well
Mm-hmm.
and so smoothly.
Mm-hmm. I also think to go along with that too, with how you said that everybody in this movie is like a character almost. I don't know if somebody could have played the role of Marty's dad as
Yeah,
well in both.
He's weird.
He's really weird. But the thing
He's
is,
really
too, and I wanted to mention this earlier to go back and we can get into a little more spoilers now. I mean, like, I know people like Marty's dad.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's weird, but he's very, like, he's relatable almost. Like, you've seen people in your life like that. And people that you're like,
Yes.
God, come on, man, just give a little bit. You got to stand up for yourself a little bit. Don't take that. And it's extremely well done.
Don't be such a spaz.
Yeah. Yep.
Most of my favorite scenes are probably revolving George McFly. I just love how he acts. I love when they're watching the TV in the dinner and like the mom, who's just like a alcoholic, like dead in the eyes mom. She's like trying to recount her young love, and
Mhm.
he's just watching TV and he's
Yep.
just laughing like an idiot, but
Yep.
like just the and
Yep.
clapping, being goofy. I love that. Um, One of my really favorite scenes is whenever Marty and Marty meets his dad in the past, and Biff comes in and is bullying George, and Marty kind of stands up to Biff, and Biff starts bullying Marty. George starts. He's like, "Oh, I'm part of the gang," and he's like laughing along with Biff and
Uh-huh.
stuff, and it's just so goofy, but it's so funny
Yep.
because you can just tell he's so out of place.
Yep. He, I know you said he killed that role. He really did. And I don't think that they could have found another actor to match that same energy nearly as well
Oh,
as
I
as
was
he
wanting to
did.
tell you this. This movie was made and shot with a totally different Marty McFly until the very end, and they recasted him as Michael J. Fox. I bet you didn't know that.
Really?
Yes, it was a
I
fellow
didn't know
named
that at
Eric
all.
Stoltz. Eric
Hmm.
Stoltz, and there's like footage like of a bunch of scenes. Like he did most of the movie, if not all of it, and I don't know why, but he got fired towards the end of the process, and it almost killed the movie. This
Hmm.
movie almost got killed a few times. Um, Look him up and see if there's like any. There's like
Yeah.
pictures of him on the set, like talking to George and stuff. Um, Maybe just type his name in Back to the Future.
That's what.
Yeah, there's his face.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
not how the internet works.
yeah, I know it's not like your phone.
Sucks.
Can
Um.
that too.
But
But
yeah, I had no idea that was the case. He looks. That's
the
interesting.
scene where Marty punches Biff
Uh huh.
is Eric Stoltz.
Wow.
And they kept that scene in just because, for whatever reason, it looked better. A little
Huh.
fun trivia fact.
He was fired for a month of filming. I'm just kind of reading through this
If
article
it was
here.
only a month of filming, then it probably wasn't close to the whole movie.
I
But
bet they got a decent amount of the way through it, though. Still yet. That's crazy. The crew behind Back to the Future ultimately decided to recast Stoltz's starring role in the film, believing he was taking the character too seriously for the movie's otherwise lighthearted tone. He wasn't giving us the
that's
kind of humor that we thought the character should have. He actually thought the movie turned out to be a tragedy because he ended up in a 1985 where a lot of his life is different. That's an interesting way of thinking about it, though.
well, I was wanting to say that this movie is a Twilight Zone episode if it had a good ending.
For sure.
Like
Yes.
a good ending. I've been trying to find a couple movies like this. It's a Wonderful Life falls into this category. Um, but that's like a very Black Mirror take on it. That like, especially to be thinking this way in 1985, it's like he went to, he didn't return to his correct timeline. You know, he's in the new 1985, right?
Right.
But that that's like it's like, come on, man.
This is the
It's
Marty
a
1
little
timeline.
right. He's like over his head though with that analysis a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's really funny, and that's really interesting. Another fun fact is that Crispin Glover, George McFly, he's only seen this movie allegedly one time,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't like it
Really?
because he says that the ending is trying to word it right. It's the ending. Marty's life is better because they're richer now because they have money.
Hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Now, I think he's missing the forest for the trees.
Yes.
Because, like, obviously, I think Back to the Future has like one of the greatest endings ever of just like, oh, my life's awesome now. My
Mm-hmm.
parents love each other. I
Yep.
got like my virtually my life hasn't changed really at all. You know, it's like I
Mm-hmm.
still live in the same house. I have the same girlfriend. I have the same parasocial relationships and relationships with people, seemingly. Um, I just have a truck now. My dad's not a loser. My parents aren't losers now, you know?
Right.
Um, and like at the end, whenever Jennifer asks him if everything's okay, he goes, everything's great. It's not him looking at his truck. It cuts to his parents looking at him,
Mm-hmm.
and his parents are happy. And, you know, I think that's the message of the movie is that he, you know, it doesn't really, you, them being richer, that's almost just like speculation. They just, you know, who knows? You know?
Right.
Um,
My man, I don't know if you know this. He's playing Tommy Taffy.
yes, he is. Yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
know that. Okay.
He plays, yeah, yeah.
But yes, I think that. I mean, that is an interesting take on the movie, but I agree. I don't think that's the whole point of it. Is like, oh, Marty's rich now, his life is better. I think it's like, oh,
Not
Marty's
at all.
mother's not an alcoholic, and his father isn't a complete pushover, so his
Yeah.
life is drastically improved.
Yeah. Biff, man, I love how
Biff is a good
acts at the
character.
end of the movie.
Yes. Yep.
They turn him into a, oh my god, he like, I'm gonna just. Did you notice how he's like has his hand on his hips whenever he's telling Marty about the car?
How he has his what? Sorry.
How he has his hands on his hips.
Yes.
He's just such a pansy, dude. He's
Yes.
just been so I don't know, like effeminated or something, dude. It's hilarious, like how he is acting. Cause like I just can't even think the word of it. Cause he's like, I got your keys, Marty. They're right here. Ready for the big lake trip, Marty? You know, like he's like
It
a
is a
suck
complete.
ass.
Yes, it's a complete change, and it's that is a good point. It for him to be. I mean, that's only a. I don't know how long that scene is. It's maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes. It's not very long at all.
Yeah,
There's
minutes and
so
movies
much
fly
that
by.
you get out of that. Hang on, I'm
Yeah.
looking at it now. I don't know if you can see. It is literally 1 minute. It looks like you get 1 minute of Biff at the end. I'm gonna mute it, just because I want to go off of body language here almost. You get 1 minute of Biff at the end, and yeah, he's just a pushover.
Yeah. He brings the books in. Now, one of the critiques I have seen of this movie, of like a modern age critique, is that it is awfully weird that they are like pseudo friends with, um, the mom's borderline rapist, right?
Right.
You know, now I'm not gonna say like it's just from a different time, but
Right.
I don't know. It just does seem like that, right? I don't really know how to explain it.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I would
It's just
probably
one of
get from
those,
it.
you know, who knows how bad, you know, it's a family movie, so
Right.
it's not like it was going to get too crazy. It's implying a little bit, obviously,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'll even get a little meta here, and I'll say that, like, I know and have been friends with plenty of girls from high school who I know have had terrible things happen to them, and they're still
Right.
still just chill, still chill with the dudes. I'm like, man, I don't know if it's like a youth thing where you're like, oh, it wasn't that serious or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't see it. I do
get what
think
you're
it's a
saying.
fair critique, but I don't see it and go, "Oh, that's completely unrealistic. That would never happen." But yeah,
Right.
I was also thinking about that.
It's also not like he's actually their friend. It's he fucking
No, yeah.
works for him. You
He's
know?
the waxer.
Yeah.
What is Biff's role to the family, you think? Is he like he like a butler almost, not a butler, but
No, no,
like a
he has
handyman.
in
He has a
that
company.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah,
in
that's
that
right.
scene, he has like a truck that says like Biff's
Biff something.
auto repair or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went from whatever
Auto
Jordan
detail.
McFly's supervisor means to just a handyman, which, nothing
No.
wrong with being a handyman,
No.
but it obviously puts him in a different power dynamic.
No.
I wrote down, God damn, this movie is shot so good. Just
It's yes. I wrote that down several times. Like, scene is beautiful. Scene is beautiful. There's a lot of frames in it that is just art almost. It's awesome. It's shocking how pretty it is.
this is potentially Robert Zemeckis' first film too.
It's crazy.
Funny enough, he also did Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is what I was telling you about the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely need to.
Yeah, I'll go a little bit off of that. So I like I said, mine was kind of chronological. The DeLorean reveal and Doc
Yes,
reveal.
I have. Yes,
That scene's
yep,
awesome.
I have the identical thing written.
The iconic flame tires, the music is awesome. It builds so much suspense there. That whole scene, the whole first act is super good, scene by scene by scene of build, 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 build. It's so entertaining.
Yes, sometimes I like rate movies on like how good and noticeable. Like, I really love when a movie's act change is like super noticeable, right?
Yes, yes.
What is more fucking noticeable than instantaneous time travel to the fucking past?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's an intense race, and I love how time travel is portrayed in this movie. Like, it's not like a weird time warp. It's just he hits 88 miles an hour, his windshield, he's in a different place, you
Yep.
know? And it's just like, oh, we're in Act 2 now. And like, boom. Really good. There is a funny fan theory that I didn't find in my research, but I just knew of from pop culture being in the zeitgeist for so long. So when they are lining up the DeLorean, okay,
Right.
Doc is like, all right, here, get your camera out, right? They're filming it, and it's running right at them. And Marty steps out of the way, and Doc pulls him back. Right?
Yeah.
When the car travels through time, Doc is surprised. He has like a look. He has a look of amazement on his face. The fan theory is that after a 70-year-old life of just constant failure, burning down your mansion, stealing uranium from a terrorist group,
being
that you're
hunted.
just like, you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna kill myself and my young ward, right? Just run over with my nuclear bullshit.
Yep.
Now, I don't know, but it is just funny how he acts, because he's literally like, it worked.
He's shocked. He's like, oh my God, yeah.
If it didn't work, who knows? Like, obviously they would have gotten hit by a car.
Oh, yeah. That would have been it.
That whole action scene is really good.
It's
I even like
awesome.
how Doc's like, where am I gonna go? Time travel, blah blah blah, and like he puts in the date organically. I like how he went through the cycle. He's like, we could go see the signing of the, Declaration of Independence. We could see the birth of Christ, or we could go to this date, and then you just get like a quick. It is like exposition, but it's like nothing crazy. Just like, this is the day I invented time travel, which gets brought up in another one of my favorite scenes. Is I love how Marty finally convinces Doc to help him in the past is just by. Once again, it's not a story that Doc has told him 100 times. It's not something Marty knows outright, and he doesn't even think about it in the moment that that's a good way to convince him. He just says it out of desperation because he heard it hours before. I love that. But even like when Doc is about to travel back in time, or he's going to travel to the future, he goes, "Oh golly, I almost forgot. I didn't even pack any extra uranium. Only one pellet, one trip.
Yeah.
Like really just hitting the nail. Like
Yeah.
we are stuck in the past."
Doc Brown's character is amazing. Would love to talk about that in a little bit.
Yes.
I don't want to. We're not getting into any critiques yet, correct?
No, not yet.
Okay. I don't. Yeah. I don't
I'm
have.
still
many,
just going
but
over
yes.
what I like.
Yep. We talked about the scenery. I think the 50s and 80s done very well. I think it's it for the time spent in both, which is relatively limited. Really good. Reading through my stuff here. Oh, it was really cool. Like I said, the more that you pay attention to the movie, the more payoff it has. It's there's so many things that's so well done, and like his dad's first interaction with Biff that you see, and then
It's identical.
in the diner, it's the exact same thing. He gets him with the exact. He's been getting him with it for 30 years now.
years,
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
It's crazy, but it's
I
awesome.
love knocking on the head.
Yep.
I do that to my wife. I think it's so funny.
Yep.
Just anytime, hello, is anybody there? It's so funny. It's so disrespectful.
Yep. It's
I love that in that scene, like that Marty's just in the background, just like agaped, just like I'm looking in the camera, just like
can't believe it.
Staring at George. He's like in shock. Oh, I think
Yep.
it's hilarious that everybody's like, "When'd you come to port?" I think it's just funny that they think he's in the Navy and that his weird 80s, or he's in the Navy and his weird 80s fashion
His
is a
fits
life
on.
preserver. Yeah,
Yep.
it cracks. It's really funny. Yeah, the whole diner scene, really good. I like that George just has no interest in talking to Marty. Thinks he's weird.
Yep. Also, well in line with the character, well written. George is just such a great character as a whole. Like I said, I think that people like that is extremely relatable. Is weird.
Yes.
Not too weird. He's not like cringy. There is something towards the end of the movie, and it cracks me up. And this really did crack me up. I don't even think I wrote it down, but it's when Marty's coaching George on what to say, right? And George is like, "So I'm gonna say, get your damn hands off of her," and then he says, "Now, Marty, do I really have to cuss?" And Marty says, "God damn it, George, yes, yes, you do." It's so funny.
Yes, I love that. There's a similar scene where he has no idea how to talk to Lorraine, and Marty says, "It's a miracle I was born in the first place." Just like this guy has no earthly game.
Yep.
That cracks me up. I like that Marty is. He destroys the future just totally accidentally. Like he's still in shock. He's following his dad around. The Peep and Tom scene, which is foreshadowed in the beginning, whenever they talk exactly about that. He falls out of a tree, and George is uncomfortable talking about it because he knows he was Peeping Tom.
Right.
And Lorraine's like, "What were you doing? Bird watching or whatever?" And George is just like, "Yeah, whatever." Like he doesn't even say anything.
Yeah.
But Marty gets to see that he's a Peeping Tom. And then out of instinct, he's like, "Jesus Christ, can't let my dad get hit by a car." Pushes him out of the way. Now, I will talk about this critique real quick. I feel like it is in the pop culture that people think this movie is about a kid traveling back in time to fuck his mom. Okay? That is not what the movie is about. The movie is almost the opposite. That
people think that? That's a thought?
That's like a huge joke.
Really?
It's like, yeah, that's like there's like a
Huh.
John Mulaney joke. I'm sure there's like a Family Guy joke. It's like a
Right.
big joke that's like, yeah, Marty traveled back in time and then he wants to fuck his mom.
Hmm.
And like obviously he doesn't. Now,
Right.
he's a better man than me
Oh
because
yeah.
I don't know if I didn't realize it until my latest rewatch, but Leah Thompson in 1955 is smoking, dude.
Oh yeah.
Um,
100%.
like, like to the point of like unrecognizable to her 1985 self. Like I don't even know how Marty drew the connection, almost. But yeah, that would be quite the situation to be in. I love how aggressively promiscuous his mom is.
I was gonna say that. She really comes on hard, like every scene.
Yes,
Once again, great actress and great job, and almost
it's
steals the show because she is
love.
so like
I almost would.
persistent.
I almost would love to see the original timeline. How George was handling this. I don't. That's almost like a plot hole. I don't know if George could handle that heat. You know what I
I,
mean?
yo, I
In
have
the
no idea.
in the bedroom, or like grabbing the wang at the dinner table.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy stuff, right?
Yep.
Um,
It's 1955.
it is 1955. And this girl, like, why is she even allowed to be in this bedroom with my
Right.
pants off?
Yep. It is shocking.
Whenever the mom yells for her, and Marty falls out of bed, and she gets up real fast and like gathers herself.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. This is like another great shot movie scene. Marty is the focus of the scene, but he's standing in front of a mirror, and in the reflection of the mirror is Leah
Her?
Thompson.
Yes.
It's her leaving the room, but she stops and is looking at him in his underwear for like a
Yep.
long time, and you can tell like she's like soaking it in.
Mm-hmm.
Just a really good scene. Like anytime mirrors like a good scene cheat code. You know, they
I
they really make for good movie making.
God, there's just so much in here that I loved that were scenes. I wish I would have kind of wrote more of them down as I went, but it's just like you and I talked about it. That was so we pretty much went over most of Act 1 there, and we're in Act 2 now. I didn't even take a lot of notes in Act 2. I just had such an
No,
enjoyable time.
it's so fun.
Yes.
Just and it goes by so quick. The runtime goes by so quick. But like
Yep.
he goes and talks to Doc. I love how Doc is portrayed in the past. I love
Mm-hmm.
also some of the most clever written jokes you'll ever hear in a movie that nobody in the movie laughs at. They're just strictly for the audience, and they're just little. I love in the dinner scene. They bring out the TV set, and the kid asks like, "Do you have a TV set?" And Marty's like, "Yeah, I got two." And the mom's
Mhm.
like, "He's teasing you, darling. Nobody has two TVs." There's a few jokes at dinner. I love the Ronald Reagan joke. I even read a fact today that Ronald Reagan himself was so amused by the Ronald Reagan joke that he made the projectionists at the White House rewind the scene so he could watch it again.
That's
When
funny.
Doc, when Doc Brown's like, Ronald Reagan, the actor,
Yeah.
like, who's the vice president, Jerry Lewis, and that is just also one of the like, what a time in history to make that joke. You couldn't have made that joke if JFK or Jimmy Carter or Richard Nixon or Bill Clinton's the president. That it wouldn't make sense. But
Right.
Ronald Reagan being a famous movie star in that time period, it just works so it works so good. Now,
Yeah.
funny enough, they could do that now with Donald Trump. You
Right.
could travel back to 1985 from 2015 or 2025, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the age gap is. I love that joke. In Doc Brown's mansion, the pictures on his mantle are the same pictures from the opening shot of like Einstein or an Edison and Benjamin Franklin. There's like a couple of similar mementos in his garage from the opening scene that are in his full-on mansion. We talked about how the lightning bolt stuff, anytime Marty was with his parents, it was just really good fun.
I love the dynamic between George and his mom, and him trying to set them up. It just great acting. Just seeing three great actors riff.
Because Marty's like, oh, I'll just introduce you to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Goes awful. She's only interested in him. I love that George just
that scene with the locker.
He just fucks off. Yeah, anytime something's not going his way, he just fucks off. It's so funny. He does it like 3 times, you know.
Yeah.
So
all of that, Act 2 really does just fly by.
It just flies by. It's like, I love the Darth Vader scene. That's
that is cool, and a good little setup there for the end, and to get him motivated as well. That's one that I kind of forgot about. I didn't even take any notes on it. And
no, it's almost like a weird. It's almost out of place.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that they don't show you too much, because there is a lot of questions like, how did Marty get in there? How did he get out? Blah 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 blah. Like a lot of junk, right? But it is just obviously, George is into sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Marty has access to shit that isn't even conceptualized yet. Just even like what do they call him? A Hitman? What's the portable cassette players called?
The Walkman?
Walkman, yeah. Even having that, and then the radioactive suit, and then just saying sci-fi words, that flow good. George Lucas is the king of making alien words flow together, like Darth Vader. Yeah, he knew that would work. Which is funny. I had to do some research on this. So you think he gets the idea from like a comic book or something? The TV episode, the whatever show they're watching, in the present and the past, they watch the same episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that episode of whatever the hell that is, the guy dresses as a spaceman for whatever reason. And that's probably where Marty gets the idea from. Not from anything else. Yeah, just something that you would have to like literally dig to look into. Like, it's not too far-fetched for Marty to get that idea, but it's cool that there is like an in-universe explanation of like why he was thinking about that.
Right.
I immediately love how George is acting after that scene. Like, he's running down the street frantically. His hair is all messed up. And he's talking about Darth Vader in public. And Marty's like, chill out. How about we don't talk about Darth Vader and the planet Voltron, whatever. The skateboarding scene is a great bit of action.
Is awesome and so cool. I think Cool, I don't know if we mentioned it pre-recording or not, but Cool plays such a big theme in this movie too. And I think that's a big, like, 80s Cool. Marty's just 80s Cool.
Yeah, he skateboards.
The whole skateboarding scene's awesome.
He can play the guitar.
Yep.
Yeah, he just does little cool stuff.
I wanted to mention and it's around this part of the movie that you start seeing it more. The whole, and I didn't think about this before, and I hope I can articulate this well. The whole photo thing, Marty having the photo of his family in his pocket, and the way that is done. It's a little bit cliche, but I mean, for the time this movie came out and the way that this is done, just through having that photo on him all the time and being able to look at it through parts of the movie so you can check in on it is a excellent way of conveying what's happening without having to like over explain it. Because I mean, even whenever it first happens, when Doc first sees his brother with his head off, he's like,
we don't.
That's an altered photo. His head's cut off.
Yeah, and I love that we don't see it.
No.
It's like, what do you, what's he talking
Yep.
about? And then later, it gets brought back up. Yeah, that was really cool. Just having it's almost like a token.
Yes,
That
because
he
there's
can
several
use.
references to the picture that he looks at, and it's
Yeah,
very well done.
at the end, he puts it in his guitar string so that way he can look at it while he's playing the guitar, so he can like in real time see if the plan's working or not. Which this may be a critique or not. I have no idea how time travel works in this universe. There's like a weird paradox if you really get into it, because like if he ceases to exist, then he would have never went back in time, and then blah blah blah.
Right.
But it seems like he went to an alternate
Mm-hmm.
1955 or something. Whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
It's not that kind of movie.
Yeah.
The
That's kind
famous
of
there's like a famous Harrison Ford. George Harrison's a hippie. Harrison Ford quote about Star Wars is Mark Hamill's talking about his hair in one scene, and Harrison Ford says, "Kid, if they care about your hair, then we're in a we got real problems, because it's not that kind of movie." And that's how I feel about this. Like, if you get
Yeah.
too caught up onto, like, almost like, I thought about this phrase, even though we haven't reviewed Interstellar yet, it's almost like an interstellar idiot mindset. Like, I
Right.
don't understand something about this movie. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you don't. The fact that you don't understand it, you're almost like not understanding it more by trying to think about it. Like, you
Right,
don't have
yeah.
to think
You
about
don't
it.
need to get that deep into it. Yes.
Yeah, like you don't. It doesn't matter how time travel works in this movie at all. Like, it's
Yeah.
he went to the past. He's trying to get back to the future, and that's it.
You don't need to conceptualize the time travel. And this movie does do a good job. I think it does a great job on the topic of not doing too much
Yeah.
in that aspect with the time travel. It gives you exactly what you need. It doesn't, like, you're not really thinking about every action has a reaction, and it doesn't even feed into that. It the things that Marty does has consequences. You can see them in direct time through the photo, and then
Yeah.
the future changes
Yeah,
for the better.
That's
It's
That's
yep, that is literally everything that is the consequence of time travel in the movie. And Doc gets
Yeah.
saved, which is a fantastic payoff in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think we're
I
close to going
love
the beat by beat. The plan
Yes.
with his mom. So, I love that the plan with his mom is based around what he understands about his parents, which is not much.
Mhm.
He doesn't understand almost anything about his parents. He thinks he realizes his dad is a lot like him whenever he finds out that he won't let people read his stories. It's like what Marty says at the beginning of the movie. He doesn't want people to listen to him play music, because what if they don't like him? It's
Right.
not that his dad's a loser. He just doesn't have any confidence in himself, and he's really reserved, and he fears rejection, right? To the point where he won't try stuff. Now, what he thinks his mom, as he says, quote, he thinks she was born a nun. He thinks she's a goody two-shoes, and that she would be appalled to be sitting in a car with like Marty, and him try to
Right.
like fill her up and stuff. And it is hilarious that she pulls out whiskey and a cigarette, and she tries
Yeah.
to have sex with him, right? Like forcibly. So like it just completely ruins his plan, and it would have ruined his plan until Ex Machina Biff shows up. But it's not really out of nowhere,
Right.
because so much beef had been set up with Biff throughout the movie that Beef's like, God, next time I catch this guy, I'm going to beat him to death,
Yep, that
He
was the last Biff line prior to then.
Yeah, he ruined my fucking car, and he has the hots for Lorraine. We know that. So all that makes sense. George punching Biff, just great.
Awesome.
It's so great. It's believable.
It's so good. There's
Biff's
a lot
drunk,
of tension there too.
So
and
much
it builds,
tension. Yeah,
because you don't know if he's going to do it.
Yeah,
You're almost convinced he's going to walk away.
You're really convinced he's gonna walk away or just get beat up. And I
Yep.
love that they start. I love that he doesn't immediately win. That he starts
Mm-hmm.
getting his arm broke, and then it takes like Lorraine being in like physical danger for him to come to his senses
Yeah.
and lay him out. Now,
Yep.
one thing I really love is that they double down on this point that George has changed. It's not over. They're on
Yep.
the dance floor. A dude
Yep.
cuts in, and Marty is almost wiped from existence. And then George shoves the guy away and dances with Lorraine and kisses her. And it really just hammers the point. It's like, this is a different guy now. This is
Mm-hmm.
not the George McFly from the beginning of the movie or the middle of the movie. He didn't get lucky and knock out a drunk guy. He has changed.
Yep.
I love that because
That was a very,
it's
very
like,
good scene. Yes, to
yeah,
reinforce.
yeah, it just reinforced the point. Because, like, they didn't really have to do that, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad they did. I love Marty playing the guitar, even though the cultural appropriation of him writing Johnny Be Good in this universe.
Is very cool though. The whole
Oh, it's just so fun.
I
Dude,
like the
just
band.
being,
It's cool that
oh
he gets locked in the trunk by Biff's friends,
yeah,
and then the
and
band can't play because the
yeah,
guitarist slices his hand open.
to get him out.
Yeah,
Yep. Um,
there's a lot
wow,
good
the
about
whole time this is happening, Doc is working on the weather
working.
machine, just doing
Yep.
weird Doc stuff. Yeah, I love that the cop tries to come and look at the DeLorean, and he's like really doing some really scientific
Mm-hmm.
work. So Marty gets his parents together, gets like a good proper farewell with them. I
Yep.
love that. They're just like, Marty
It's
has like
nice.
become like hometown hero status for whatever reason.
Yeah,
Lorraine's like, "Hey, Marty, I'm really sorry, but George is gonna take me home." And Marty's like, "No, that's totally
it's
cool.
awesome.
I
Sweet.
love George," and they're both like, well, I kind of like that George isn't really even talking in the scene. It's just Lorraine. I don't know why, but it just feels very. I feel like I've seen that in high school too. Like a dude get ditched, and then the girl has to like be like, "Look, like have to
Yeah.
smooth it over." Like it's, even though it's not fully like that in the movie, but it is. It is
That scene
familiar.
is good too because I know George looks very confident in that scene.
He looks cool.
As
He's
well.
got his jacket on his shoulder and his
He's
hair is
literally
like
the
slicked
man.
back. Yes, dude. He's the man now. Um, I like that he like says goodbye to his parents, and they're like, I just love the line of you, are we gonna see you again? Because they think he's like a sailor, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, they have no idea.
He's like, yeah, I gotta head out anyway, and they're like, oh, are we gonna see you again? He's like, yeah, y'all will. Just fun lines. And then finally, the ending action scene with the DeLorean and the lightning bolt. It's great. Every time, it doesn't feel overdone that the lightning cable gets unplugged like multiple times. You just
No.
don't even care. You're just on the
No.
edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
I love
such
that. I love
a
that the
thrill.
DeLorean doesn't start, even though I've seen people complain about that. It's like, why doesn't it start? Why did it start? It's like, well, it's been shown throughout the movie that it doesn't start sometimes. It's a
Yep.
DeLorean. Apparently, DeLoreans weren't super reliable.
Right.
That's almost like a meta joke, right?
Yep.
I don't know. But Doc hanging from the clock tower, plugging, like literally doing the most,
Being the hero.
being the hero, ripping up the letter.
Ripping up the letter is something that I thought was interesting.
Well, I just love how committed Doc is. Even though earlier it obviously he's very interested about the future because he keeps replaying his final words on the tape.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Marty's like, "I'll just tell you," he's like, "No, no, 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 no." He's like, he like gets his resolve back. But he is curious. It's
He's a
just
hell of a
obvious.
character. And he
Oh,
has to. I
he's
think
almost like a Looney Tune. I love how he just
yes.
runs around. There's a hilarious scene with him earlier in the movie where Marty's like, "I gotta get back, Doc. I got a girl," and immediately he goes, "Is she pretty?" Like it's just so it's just so funny. And
It's
Marty, I love how it's just acted because Michael J. Fox is like, "Oh man, you wouldn't believe it." Like it's just
uh
like
huh.
it's just so they just have so
Yeah.
much like charismatic chemistry together. But I just
Yeah.
love anytime Doc is in the movie. Like anytime something goes wrong, Doc almost acts like a Muppet. He's like
Hmm.
mouth open, like oh.
His expression, even whenever I liked the scene whenever Marty's mom came to visit them in Doc's shed shop or
Mm.
whatever, and Doc's expression for that whole entire scene is very Muppet like. It is hilarious and awesome. And he's not, really playing any influence to Marty. He doesn't even need to be in the scene, but
Yeah,
just his eyes and his demeanor adds so much, and it makes the scene so much fun. The awkwardness of it. Um,
and
with
I
him
don't
ripping up.
even.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't even know what this dude was in before this.
Mm,
You know,
right.
apparently he was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but I don't. I've regrettably have never seen that.
I've heard good
Maybe
things about it, but I've never
I've
seen it either.
I've heard good things about it too. But I almost want to know if he's like a true thespian or something. Like, was he a stage actor or something? Because like this is almost he almost has a very stage presence to him, like where he's like playing to the back row and not
Right.
so much a camera.
He does have.
Um,
He's been acting. He has 10 years of credits before, but yeah, I get what you mean. Like, I don't recognize any of. Well, he's in.
okay,
Mm,
so like I thought, he was in New York theater in a bunch of plays.
hmm.
He was in Broadway. So yeah, that makes 100% sense to me. That's he seems like a stage actor. Um, he played in Macbeth. Uh, you know, a bunch of other plays I've never heard of.
Has been married to 3, 4, 5 times, by the way. Worth
Legend,
noting.
legendary.
Legend.
Yeah.
Um,
Note for a future episode: he plays in a movie that is based off of a book I have um, called. I don't know what the movie's called, but the book is called "I Am Not a Serial Killer." I don't know what the
hmm.
movie's called. Oh, it's called "I Am Not a Serial Killer." Um, we ought to watch that one day because it's a kind of like a little cult movie.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
Yeah, it's based on a book. It didn't have a big budget and it didn't make a lot of money, but it has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Christopher Lloyd's in it. So,
Hmm.
um,
I'm not a serial killer. I will look that up. I was
back to
going to say with the letter, I I love the letter. I love that Marty wrote the letter. I love that he was very emotional about it, really thought on it. I love that he put it in Doc's pocket. Doc finds it, rips it up, kind of battles with it though. And then
mhm.
my favorite thing, and this is even at the end, Marty's like, Doc pulls, Doc gets shot by the Libyans, and then on the scene, he pulls out the letter, and it's taped up and everything, and Marty's like, yo, man, the letter, you ripped it up. He said, yeah, but I thought, what the hell?
Yeah,
And
just
that's just really cool. It's so cool.
eventually, what the hell, you know?
No,
Um, yeah, I love that. So good. I love
at
their
the,
relationship, even
mm-hmm,
though this is like another critique is people, or it's like a joke. It's like, why are they friends? Who
right.
gives a fuck?
Who cares?
Who gives a fuck? If I watched this movie in 1985, I would have been like, well, obviously that's his like uncle,
Right.
or
He feels
like
like an uncle. And I
that's
know
like
he says that. Marty says
that's
that at one point.
yeah, like that's
But it
my
is very believable.
just like that's my great uncle,
Mm-hmm.
or that's like my fourth cousin, or um, you know, apparently there's a comic book where Doc hires Marty to help him out, and Marty steals from him or something, and that's how they become friends. But you know what? Who gives a fuck? They could.
I
It's
don't
not.
even care that much. I don't. I
Yeah.
don't think there needs to be that much of a yeah.
Yeah. It. I don't know if it's just where I've seen the movie a million times, but it just barely even crosses my mind.
They're both cool dudes.
Yeah, they're just vibing.
Um.
I like now. My fan theory is that this is like a really weird time travel theory, but say there's only one timeline, and Marty met or Doc Brown met Marty in 1955, and then just kept the whole thing secret, and knew that was going to happen, knew that they would be friends with him, and just sought him out. You know,
Right.
could be something like that.
Very well could be.
Just like a weird time paradox circle. Just like, oh, he goes back in time. He must be my friend, so I will befriend him. You know,
Yeah.
could be something like that.
There has to be some fan theory. I was thinking about this while I was watching. There has to be some fan theory on the flux capacitor and Doc hitting his head, right? Or am I thinking too much into that? Because I don't.
I don't.
I feel like I've
nah.
heard something about that at some point. Is there like something that like maybe Doc died and whatever? I don't know.
I have no idea, but I like that. That is funny. That is like a little lesser known thing. Is like he did hit his head to think of the flux capacitor.
Right. That's what, because it's mentioned
Multiple
twice.
times.
Yeah, at least.
Well, it's funny that like it's crazy that even it took him 30 years to build the time machine, and obviously he was building stuff between that.
Mm-hmm.
But that him bumping his head and having the idea of the flux capacitor is such a big moment to him that he remembers the exact date it happened.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
It's crazy to remember that for 30 years, but yes.
Right, yeah.
At the very end, I'll talk about that a little bit. Very cool. We talked about Biff. You know, his parents. He's living a good life. Not about the money. He has a truck. George is the man, though.
It's one
I
of the
love
best
that.
endings ever.
Yes, I think that for as good of a character as his mom was, especially younger, she didn't get that much of a role at the end. But man, just seeing George be the man,
Yeah.
is a great payoff. I really like that.
Just seeing them happy
Yes.
infers so much.
Yeah.
Let alone like they're dressed cool. His siblings, even though like his siblings aren't a huge part of the movie, they're dressed better.
Yeah.
The house just looks nicer. You get that one scene with his mom at the end where she says that Jennifer called, and she's like, "I really like her," just like the complete opposite of what she says at the beginning
Of what
the
she
movie.
said before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like she's a really good girl, you know, and that they know about the camping trip and yada yada yada. Like it's just such a good ending. Just like my life kicks ass now. My parents
Complete.
are fucking. Biff is a loser. And it's so simple.
It is a complete wrap up almost. And then,
It is.
did you have anything else to say about the very end there?
Yeah, so Doc coming back is like a joke.
Yeah.
They didn't have a sequel planned in the beginning. And this is apparently just like a joke about movies at the end, is that they would set up like a sequel, but it would just be a joke. But I love what Marty says when Doc's like, "We got to go to the future. It's about you." And Marty says, what happens, Doc? What do we become assholes or something?
Mm-hmm.
It that cracks me up more than anything. Just like,
Right.
just like what happens? Do we become assholes or something?
It is very funny. And then Doc says, "What? No, it's your kids or
Yeah,
something."
yeah, and
I I like that setup. That was the last bullet point I had too. I have never seen Back to the Future 2 or 3. This is the only movie I've seen from Back to the Future.
we'll have to watch it. Back to the Future one is considered the best one, but the
Right.
trilogy is good. And I think the second one gets a lot of hate for some reason. It's the lowest rated one, surprisingly, because the third one's a western. Go figure. But Back to the Future 2 is pretty good. I will say they recast his girlfriend and they reshoot the ending scene to Back to the Future 1 in Back to the Future 2. The beginning is just the same scene, completely done over. This will go into the critiques. So, one of the biggest critiques of this movie, and it does make sense, is that Marty McFly himself does not have a character arc.
Yeah.
And he really doesn't.
That is fair.
I kind of disagree to the point where his character arc is that he understands his family better, and he doesn't understand them, and then he does.
Right.
But Marty doesn't really have any flaws he has to overcome, except being like less confident. I feel like him playing music in front of the school shows that
I think that's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's
I would argue that he has a little bit of one.
Yeah, I think he does. I just
Right.
found that online. Another thing is that people say the characters are shallow. Now,
I disagree with that completely.
I also disagree. Now, I understand that the mom is horny, the dad is a dork, Biff is a bully, Doc
Right.
is eccentric, Marty blah blah blah. Yes, but it's a 2-hour movie, and I feel like I know a lot about all of them just from what I've seen. They
Right.
don't feel that shallow.
No.
I do think one of my personal complaints is that I wish there was just like a little bit more with the brother and sister. I almost don't care about them if they get erased. Doesn't mean anything to me. Like,
Yeah.
I only
I
care.
agree with that.
I only care about Marty. Like, I don't want Marty to stop existing. But if he fucked up the timeline and only he existed and his siblings didn't exist, I wouldn't be like, oh man.
Right.
Just
I
go,
wouldn't
yeah,
care
whatever.
that much.
Yeah, they suck.
Yep.
Jennifer, his girlfriend, she almost plays a big role,
Mm-hmm.
which she does play a bigger role in the second movie. Still not as much, but I kind of wish she had a little bit more. If this movie like stretched out its runtime, this is like this is dumb critique because I think the movie is really perfect for what it is. I'm just saying like things that could have been different. It maybe would have been interesting like if there was like a relationship with Jennifer's dad and he meets him in the past.
Yeah.
Because we see him for just a minute whenever he picks up Jennifer.
I do wish
But-
that there was a little bit more Jennifer. Like, I like her as a
Just
character.
a little bit, yeah.
Just give me a little bit more. Don't have to be a lot.
And I don't know where, don't know where it
Right.
could be at. She just definitely is a second thought. But
I'll say one of my critiques about the end of the movie, and again, I don't know how you'd pace it out, but you get your payoff, right? And then it would be cool if Marty got more of a breather, I feel like. versus Doc coming in. But I don't know at the end of the day, because like it's cool that like him and Jessica are like gonna go out, works out, cool. They're gonna go
Oh
for
yeah.
it, and then it's immediately Doc's here. It's like we actually got to go again right now.
Well, time
It's like, yeah,
travel's
come on,
funny. They come
right?
back to that moment exactly. It's after the end of the second movie, but
Yeah,
um, man, we really need to watch the other ones. They're also good, especially because it's just more Marty and Doc,
yeah,
and obviously these characters work great together. There's a rip-off TV show that's gone for 9 seasons now. You
right.
know, I think you'll probably really enjoy the sequels.
I'd really like to watch him. Um, I know something that we talked about pre-recording that was funny was do you have something to say about the Libyans?
Oh yeah, that does date it a little bit
Yeah.
because like I couldn't almost be fucked to know what the Libyans were doing in 1985. Like
It almost feels out of place. I get they needed
I
something.
bet it's not though. I bet like I bet it's like super. I bet that's like one of the most on the nose parts of
Oh,
the
I
movie.
bet. But like I think about the Libyans versus like if it was the FBI or something.
Hmm.
The Libyans are
Well,
funny, I
I think they
guess.
needed to
I
be
don't.
incompetent to a certain
Right.
degree.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
You know,
That is true.
because like Doc stole it from them and gave them a pinball machine bomb, and then they come back and they kind of they're not a well-oiled fighting machine.
Right.
So I mean, like I almost imagine if it was made in modern day, that would be like ISIS or the Taliban or something. Is what it
Right.
feels like. Um. So yeah, that is funny. Um. It is a little dated. That's like one of the just it that does show its age just as culture marches on and time marches on. I'd say that um, Marty's Lorraine getting pseudo raped by Biff that almost doesn't fly, and then
No.
like the all black band getting called a racial slur. Um,
Yep.
that's pretty risky. But other than that, I saw one critique that was like one of the movie's problems. This was like a Rotten Tomatoes review
Mm-hmm.
from when the movie came out. Is that it's like romanticizing 1955. I don't get that vibe at all almost.
I don't think so either. But
Like
I think too.
it shows 1955 and it's like
Yes.
look at this cool posters and like the 6-man gas filler upper, and
Right.
like the diner. But it's never like this is sick. The
Yeah.
present sucks ass.
No, I don't think so at all. I think that. I mean, it does portray 85 as like there's the homeless man on the bench and things like that. But
Yeah, but I just think that's what the
I
80s
yeah,
are,
I think that's what that yeah. Um, something that I thought just because you brought up the all black band and the racial slur, it was cool. I did like this. It was cool that the mayor was working in the diner and the diner
Mhm.
scene, and he was like, and Marty mentioned, oh yeah, he's gonna be the mayor, and
Yeah.
he's like, I like that. I like the mayor, and
Mhm.
even the diner owner or whatever says like a colored man being the mayor.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. And then it happens, and that's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
It's
kinda
cool that there was a little
yeah,
commentary. It was very
yeah.
progressive, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good scene. I
But
agree.
overall,
That'll be the day. A colored
yeah,
mayor in Hill Valley. It's like, yeah, 30 years from now. Stuff will change, old man. You'll be dead. You'll be dead.
it
From
is a good
drinking
movie.
from drinking too much soda pops. That joke almost doesn't fly. Is like I want a Pepsi free or a tab, but context clues.
Yeah, that one
I
almost doesn't.
I understand that a Pepsi free means like
Right.
no calories and that a
Pepsi
tab.
Free is also at the end of the movie too. I don't know if it's at the beginning. I don't remember. But in Marty's bedroom at the end, there is a Pepsi Free there.
Interesting. Oh, one of the best fun facts about this movie is Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, the owners of the rights. They say that a remake, reboot will not exist as long as they are breathing. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting. How do you feel about that? You like that?
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
I think that's pretty good.
I think that's pretty cool.
I was going to mention the Rotten Tomatoes. I was going to get into that a little bit. Excellent on Rotten Tomatoes. 93% critic and then 95% audience. People just love Back to the Future. And it's well deserved. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense,
Yep. It
I don't
really
know
is timeless.
I don't know if
want
I've
to
ever
reiterate
talked,
that.
I don't know if I've ever talked to a person and they're like, I don't like it. So completely makes sense to me.
I don't even see. I'm looking for some. I'm going to try to see if I can find a critical review of it. Here we go. Back to the Future. This is an actual critic review, I believe. Yes. Back to the Future is no more than one big joke about going where you don't belong. It has all the substance of junk food and is as harmless as your average TV show.
I just don't even know what that means.
What does that mean?
I read that earlier.
One big joke about going where you don't belong. Junk food, harmless as a TV show. Whatever, Vaguely dissatisfied. Okay, despite frequent laughs, I came out of the movie vaguely dissatisfied. I expected something more original from this and from Zemeckis, who proved in the Romancing the Stone that he can produce fresh, witty entertainment pictures. What does that mean? This was like a revolutionary movie.
Right. So this, if you click full review, this review came from 1985. So they were wrong. You know what I mean? They just were wrong.
And
that's cool to see.
That's interesting. I didn't know that that's how that worked, even on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, for old movies, they have like the original reviews.
Huh.
Like this other one, that's a negative one. It is also from 1985. And that's the one I was talking about. It glorifies the...
Yeah, glorification of the 50s there.
Now, one thing she does say, though, is that Miss Thompson and Glover are surprisingly good, and both of them steal the show. She's right. They are. They are very good.
Yep. I'm looking. There really isn't a lot of bad reviews. I mean, of course not. It's so highly rated, but it is hard to dig through.
Also, way ahead of her time is that old review. She also calls it a Twilight Zone episode.
I can see that.
Pretty cool.
Somebody wrote, so busy being clever that it trips over its own ingenuity. I don't know. Too cute, too clever, too damn smug. I don't know what some people think when they watch a movie. But yeah, overall, positive reviews. Really nothing of substance. And the negatives, I'm not seeing anything vague. I'm just seeing some haters, I believe.
No, I kind of... because I think they did a return to theater. Like, it had an official... Like, we saw, like, the flashback cinema, right? I think they had a actual...
re-release October 21st, 2023 is what I see on here.
So I think a lot of critiques are from there.
Overall, though, good movie. Really is. Would recommend watching it.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
I quite enjoyed it. Like I said, enjoy it more every single time I watch it. Any final thoughts from you on it?
No, I think we probably about covered it.
I think that's about it. I think that's a overall synopsis and glance at Back to the Future. I don't think there's anything really else in particular that I love or hate. Definitely would recommend anybody watch it if they haven't before. I think it's good for all ages. It's a classic. There's something for everybody in it, I believe, and it does a good job. That it can be a popcorn muncher. You don't really have to pay attention to what's going on, or if you want to really analyze every detail, there's a lot of reward in that as well.
I agree. I think it's evergreen. I think it'll be good, just as good this year as it was 5 years ago, as it was when it was released. I think it'll be equally as good 20 years from now. And I think it's good for all ages. I think there's something for kids, adults, teenagers, old people.
No.
I think anybody can enjoy this movie. And I think that's what makes it a perfect movie, is how watchable it is and how fun it is.
I think this is a good thought, and you'd have more opinion on this than I am. I think this would be a movie that I would be excited to show my kids someday.
Oh yeah,
because
I was pumped.
Yep.
And when we were rewatching it, even though Sam is only 1.5 years old, but he was like kind of paying attention. It's like, you will probably see this movie a plethora of more times.
Yep. And I know I don't know what the 80s was like. I don't know what the 50s was like for sure.
No clue.
But again, I feel like this movie is cool enough just in that it gives you a little bit of that period. Yep. Like it holds value at that shallow level where you could throw it on and be like, oh, that is kind of what the 80s looked like. Mm-hmm. I feel like you could have that level of entertainment out of it. But I think that about wraps it up for the most part, unless you have anything really to add. I don't know what we're going to do for our next episode, to be quite honest with you.
I think we should do Interstellar.
I think that's a good one to do as well, because I know we both really like that movie. I think we're probably about equal fans of that. I think you're a little bit higher on Back to the Future than I was, but I think Interstellar will be a good one. That'll be an episode I'll be excited for. We have a lot of ideas.
Would you say that is your favorite movie?
I have such a hard time picking favorites, but it's definitely up there. Every time I think Interstellar's hugely entertaining, and I will cry every time I watch it. So that puts it up there, just on that alone. On top of the cinematography and very entertaining storytelling. So there's a lot to talk about in Interstellar. Interstellar is a long movie, and I think it is funny because it has, there's people that's been critical of it, but I think it's one of the best movies of all time and one of my personal favorites, if not my absolute favorite.
I think we should do Interstellar then.
That sounds like a good plan. In the future, I'll tease some. We have some plans on maybe a little bit of Lord of the Rings. There's some new movies coming out right now. Superman's out this past week.
Today.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick. I'd like to see Superman. Fantastic Four soon. Might hit a 28 years later as well. I haven't seen any of the 28 series of movies, 28 days, 28, whatever it is.
I think I've seen the first one.
But those are hot right now, so you might hit some of those.
Cillian Murphy, man.
Yep. Real. Then we have some classic episodes too planned, but I think we'll do that, and then eventually we'll get into some director rankings and some extra content. We currently do not have a Patreon set up, but in the future we will get a
channel.
That is true, but hopefully I can fix that in post and we will get there. But if you would be interested in a Patreon, we will be putting some content on that and getting some links for it soon. So, I think it will be worth it, and we'll have more information on that to come.
Yeah, I think we're wrapped up. See you next week.
That sounds good. Well, of course, we appreciate everybody watching or listening. We will be back in a week. Watch a movie this week. Enjoy it. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. I hope you all have a fantastic day, evening, and night. Peace.